So, are we all still reeling from that too many men call in overtime last night, or what?
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jessica Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Today, we're going to do a little bit of chatting about the overtime loss to Detroit last night, as well as the Flames might be shopping around a little bit. And I don't know how any of us feel about that, because are we straying too far from the plot? And there's still so much work to be done. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And let's talk about the difference makers last night. The officials. Let's start with the officials, because they were a difference maker. Flames escaped with a point. It could have been two. They absolutely dominated overtime, dominated possession until that too many men call. Absolute baloney. Connor Zary's reaction was 100% appropriate, and I think that, honestly, it wasn't the right call, and I think everyone knew that. And you can't really do a takesy backsies once you blow the whistle. So they had to do something. So congratulations to the officials for now really blowing the last two games for the Flames. I don't really like to blame officiating, because there is obviously a lot of other things that go into a game, but the last two games have been absolutely horrendously officiated, and I don't think that the Flames should have lost last night. But Dan Vladar didn't either, and he absolutely did not deserve the ending, the game, like the outcome of the game. He did not deserve that. He looked great. He was standing on his head. He looked elite. It was one of his better games, I would say, and he was working overtime, quite literally. Mackenzie Weegar did end up playing last night. There weren't any lineup changes or anything like that, which is good. I think it would have been disastrous otherwise. We'd be having a different conversation. But, they needed him to be great, and that's what he was. Unfortunately, I think at the end there, everyone was kind of still flustered. Like, what are you talking about? I don't really think it's fair, but they went out and they tried to do it, and Red Wings scored. So there's literally nothing you can do. I'm glad they got a point. I think that it's not necessarily, it's stupid. Like, there's really no other way to put it. It's stupid. And the refs just need to do better. But Mackenzie Weegar, speaking of the devil, he blocked 7 shots last night. 7 shots. He looked like he was wincing a few times. I caught the second half of the game, and there was one point when he skated off after, like, he finished a shift, and he was like hunched over on the bench, and he looked like he was in a lot of pain. I would assume blocking 7 shots would do that to a person, but he did miss practice yesterday too. So is something going on that maybe he does need to take a few games off for? I don't know, but I trust him. I trust the medical team and the doctors to make the right decisions here. But obviously, he very rarely has a game where I feel like there's more negatives than positives. I think that he is constantly um, all over the ice. We know that he throws his body in front of in front of the puck. What he blocked, what, 200 shots last season? That is absurd. 7 last night alone is crazy. Like that's a lot. And I think that he is a lot better than people give him credit for. Also last night, the general managers for for Team Canada's the Four Nation tournament that's happening later this winter were in the building last night. So I'm sure that he wanted to put on a show for them as well, rightfully so. But I think just Vladar and Weegar and Connor Zary tied the game too in the third period. So and it was a power play goal too. So like let's just let that sink in. And then, obviously too many men. So I just really hope that the game tomorrow, while it will be an emotional one, I think that it will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Um it'll be another game where I'm curious, like, if they're able to get up for it, are they gonna lose 3 in a row after just winning 4 straight? Who are the Flames? What are the Flames capable of? We know that both teams are gonna be, it's a lot for both teams tomorrow, so we'll see. I really do hope that the Flames are able to just, like, break this streak tomorrow because it has been tough to watch. And we're going to talk more about the numbers coming up here next because, my God, their face-off performance last night was absolutely horrendous. And we will be right back after this. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. Hey, maybe tomorrow before the game you place bet that Sean Monahan's going to score an anytime goal, maybe Rasmus Anderson goal. Maybe you take the over, maybe you take the under, whatever your heart is set on, make sure you bring it to life in FanDuel. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And before we move on here, I do want to talk to you about Game Time. Game Time is the app that you need to absolutely have on your phone this hockey season because they have the best deals on tickets for live events. I have seen the Flames at a great cost thanks to Game Time. And Game Time Picks made that possible as well. Game Time Picks basically filters out all of the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And it was such an easy, quick process. Just needed 2 seats and 3 seats for another game. Found me the best deal on the best seats, and I was checking out. And there were no surprise fees at checkout because I had all in pricing toggled on. So I just got what I knew what I was getting, and it was fantastic. And you can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. And the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first order. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your team every day. When I was looking at the breakdown of numbers, I like to do that because, to compare to the eye test, because there's someone tracking these numbers. I look down at my phone half the time and, I'm tweeting, live tweeting, I'm seeing what fans are saying, and I might miss something that, reflects on in the stats some way. And that it's a difference maker. And I really have been focusing on their face-off percentage. It has been tough. They have struggled a lot with the face-offs, but last night was one of their worst performances with a 41.8% face-off win percentage. They need to be more aggressive. We know this. We know that, obviously they don't necessarily have a 1C that can win face-offs, that, like, reliably win face-offs. Like, when I think of that, Elias Lindholm comes to mind, or, someone that is a very solid two-way player. And the Flames are severely lacking with that. And I would expect someone like Kadri to be a little bit better and aggressive on the dot, as well as Backlund. Those are two seasoned veterans that really don't have an excuse why they can't win faceoffs. But last night, they were getting outshot pretty much through the third period. It was bad. I knew it was slow, but they had 7 shots in the first, 5 in the second, and 12 in the third. That's great, but I feel like this team can't procrastinate. They can't afford to procrastinate. It feels like they can only perform under pressure, sort of deal. Like, we all kind of convince ourselves, if you've been in high school or in college, like, oh, I'll write my best essay if I wait until 10:30 when the 3-page, 5-page essays due at midnight. Like, no. You need to give yourself plenty of time to make up for that and take things into consideration, like penalties, like special teams, or just, whatever the case may be. I feel like there is a lack of sustainability through 60 minutes. It's like they need, what's the word? I guess, like, extra time to build momentum. They need, like, the first, 1.5 periods to build up momentum and get themselves going. But that's not great when your opponent is, playing at 100% through a full 60. It doesn't work in your favor 9 times out of 10. Like, of course you're going to get lucky on some chances, but you can't just rely on luck. I think that they need to figure out a way to get Kuzmenko going. I talked about it yesterday, but they need to figure something out with Kadri, Kuzmenko, and Pospisil. I think that line, like, they are all so snake bitten. Pospisil scored the other day, but I feel like we need to be seeing more of a consistent scoring edge from him. He proved he could do it last season, so let's see more of it. I think what's tough for him as well is I think he's constantly going to be compared to Zary because they came up together. They both took off right at the same time, and he kind of fizzled out. And Zary kept his offense going, as well as, they've both had the opportunity to play center, and I would say one is playing better than the other. And obviously they are two different players. I don't think that Pospisil is the same type of player as Zary. I think that Pospisil is a little bit more, he toes that line, if you will. And I want to see more from that line. And same with Kuzmenko. Like, I was so sure there were perfect opportunities in these last two games for Kuzmenko to score. And it's just unbelievable that he didn't. I don't know who put a curse on him or what, but it's brutal. And I feel so bad for him. Like, I'm not necessarily mad at him that, he's not scoring, because he's trying. It's there. He's very evidently trying, but he just has to get one by. And I feel like it's just gonna break open the dam, and like the goals will start coming. It's been over a month. We're pushing a month and a half next week. So what are we going to do? Do we need to switch up lines? Do we need to healthy scratch? Like, what is the game plan? Also, 2 Jonathan Huberdeau penalties back to back last night. Back to back. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And they scored. The Red Wings scored a power play goal. So I don't really know what the vision here is with constantly taking trips to the penalty box, but it has to stop. It just does. There's no reason for it. And of course, to wrap this up, for too many men on the ice in overtime. I wish that Huska would just pull a Tortorella and just complain. Or Rod Brindamore. Like, we know, more so Brindamore. Brindamore complains that the Canes are, poorly officiated, whatever. But like, I feel like for Huska it would just be nice to have someone speak up other than the usual suspects, because these last 2 games have been horrendous, and I don't know what is going on or who these referees have for their vision insurance and eye doctors, but they should get that checked out. Coming up next, we're going to talk about this next potential big name that the Flames might be landing. I don't know what we're doing, and I feel like we are straying very far from where we thought things were going this season. We'll be right back after this. With the seasons changing, you know that you need to reward yourself. And I am already dreaming of a warm weather getaway. And I love using points for travel. And I'm always looking to book my next flight and earn more. Here's a life hack for you. Built lets you earn points on rent payments and redeem them towards flights, hotels, and a lot more. One of your biggest investments should get you more than just a roof over your head. And let me explain. There's no cost to join Built. And as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent in your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of yet. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world where you can redeem your Built points. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you aren't earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by go to joinbuilt.com/locked on. That is joinbilt.com/locked on. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbilt.com/locked on to start earning points on your rent payments today. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames and making Locked On Flames part of your day. Make sure you're following me on Blue Sky at Jessica Belmosto. We've known since the start of the season that the Flames have been looking for a young center, preferably a top 6 center that fits what they're looking for. Someone young, someone that can win faceoffs, a scorer, someone that is young. At the end of the day, they're looking for a young centerman, top 6 centerman. And Darren Dreger reported this morning that they are, in fact, still searching, and Conroy is working the phones. He is on this hunt like a bloodhound on a hunting trail. He is all up in this. And he also reported that it could be a bigger name than originally expected, which makes me very curious because everyone has been talking about Trevor Zegras being traded. And I don't think that Anaheim is necessarily going to do that for next. I don't know what Craig Conroy would offer them for Zegras, but, is that something that is potentially in the plan for them? I mean, they traded Jamie Drysdale, which was absolutely shocking, but they just drafted Leo Carlson. Is this someone that might just take that spot instead? Zegras, I feel for him. I feel like, he has had a battle with injuries, which, I mean, it does concern me a little bit because we've already played that game with Sean Monahan, and I don't necessarily think we need to do it again. But I don't know if that's the guy that's going to make the difference in our lineup. I don't know. I don't know enough about Trevor Zegras other than he gets hurt a lot and is kind of streaky sometimes. But let's take a look at his numbers quickly and we will dive right into this. Alrighty, so to start, he is American. That is already kind of like a red flag on the Flames radar. He's played 232 career games with 59 goals and 164 points. Has not played a full season either. He played sorry, that's a lie. That was his goal total. I'm so sorry. 24, 75, 81, 31, and then this year 21 so far. I don't know. I guess like every situation's different, but I don't necessarily think that the Ducks are just gonna let him go for like next to nothing. I would have to imagine you're giving up something nice. And we know that Conroy's not afraid to part with prospects. He's made that clear and let everyone know. I would also take this more take this with this holds more weight than other reports because I'm pretty sure Drager, sorry, wow, is married to someone within the Flames ownership's organization's like sister-in-law or something. Like they're somehow related. But that's he's not gonna make Christmas dinner awkward by false reporting. So it's just I feel like the homestand may have diverted us from our plan. The goal for the season was to get another good draft pick. Not saying tank, not suggesting that, but that was kind of the expectation because of how much the roster had turned over, and we're not seeing that currently. So maybe this team is better than I expected and all the other experts expected. But obviously losing 2 straight after winning 4 at home really doesn't look good either. So I think that once again, the Flames are having an identity crisis, and I feel like this happens every single year, and they have to figure out which direction they're going in. They said that they know that they need to take time to get competitive again. 6 months to a year is not enough time to replenish your cabinet and your stock in hockey. So we're going to have to see just what Craig Conroy has up his sleeve. I think that, Murray Edwards is probably seeing that this team is good. And there's potential, and he's getting itchy. So we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And I will see you all tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to the American listeners, and happy Thursday to everyone else. Bye-bye.